Next time you're walking through the city of Charleston, you may notice one of these stickers placed on some businesses.
So we're trying to march to keep up with these protesters. These are the ones who want the Calhoun statue now.
You can see police are moving backwards right now. We are experiencing that heavy rain that comes in increments, as well as those gusts of wind. And for Spanish speakers, la aplicación también está disponible en español. Because of the tear gas, we are starting to move back. We want to remain a safe distance. Well, this is a sight to see. This is the strip mall off of Highway 52. For some people in that community, reading my lips is the only way they can understand me if I don't know sign language. Rob, I don't know what it's like for you inside the Gilliard Center, but it's definitely a party outside. Spirits are high, the music is loud, and the streets are packed.
¿Cuál es su mensaje para las personas que no tienen mucha confianza en el sistema de salud?
A turning point in history for the state of South Carolina.
Today, I will be sending to this city council a resolution calling for the relocation of the Calhoun statue to a local museum.
The decision comes after many demanded the statue be taken down, and city leaders say careful consideration and legal research was made.
We discern that the city of Charleston owns it. And it's not a war statue, and if we own it, then we have the prerogative to relocate it.
John C. Calhoun was a prominent South Carolina statesman and a strong supporter of slavery. Many say the statue is a painful reminder to African Americans.
We're saying that that the Confederacy and all that it stood for, of dehumanizing people of African descent, of enslaving them and the like, we're saying that, that's okay. And the reality is that that's not okay.
Some believe this history is also a reminder of what we shouldn't do.
I don't see any problem with having monuments and statues to people who are questionable in history. It reminds us of our history.
No justice! While others, including protesters here today, say the statue needs to be destroyed, not placed in a museum.
This is energy that should not be transferred. This energy should be destroyed because this energy has embodied very violence that has led to the deaths of my ancestors and many others' ancestors. When it's time to sign up for a COVID-19 vaccine, communities of color are getting an extra push.
The vaccines have been found to be 95% effective. The vaccines are safe, and the vaccines have been tested in trials with 10,000 people of color.
Dr. Marvella Ford with MUSC says it's important for the Black, Hispanic, and Latino communities to get the vaccine.
When you're looking at a population that has high rates of diabetes, cardiovascular disease, stroke, and other diseases, that puts those communities more at risk of developing, getting infected with COVID and having more severe COVID-19 outcomes.
A lot of these issues could stem from a history of mistrust and mistreatment minority communities say they have faced when it comes to the healthcare system, like the decades-old Tuskegee study where Black men with syphilis were left untreated so doctors could study the disease.
And the best way to honor their legacy is to take advantage of everything that we have available to us now, including the COVID-19 vaccine.
In the Hispanic and Latino community, activist Lydia Cotton says the distress comes from lack of information available in Spanish.
¿Cuál es su mensaje para las personas que no tienen mucha confianza en el sistema de salud o la vacuna contra coronavirus?
Mi consejo es que miren bien de cerca y escuchen primero. Okay, y que vean que hay un grupo de profesionales que en realidad están trabajando muy duro para tratar de mejorar esta situación. A través de la educación es como único vamos a resolver esto.
911 was the address of the emergency.
It's the first question you'll be asked when you dial 911, but if English isn't your primary language, it's a hard one to answer.
911, what is the emergency?
In 2019, the Charleston Consolidated 911 Center received over 600,000 calls. More than 1,700 of them were from people who don't speak English fluently.
When someone calls 911 and English is not their primary language, if we don't have somebody available that can immediately assist them, what we do is we use a translation service.
For Spanish, press 1.
We then connect them, and then we ask questions, and the translator repeats those back in whatever language it may be.
And the languages vary. Last year, dispatch received over 100 calls in Spanish each month, but they also needed to use the service for languages like Portuguese, Russian, and Arabic. The company they use advertises access to over 200 languages.
It's crucial to have a language interpretation service or somebody on staff that can do that. It's very difficult to have enough staff on to be able to handle that call volume. In some cases, there are languages that they may be 2 or 3 calls a year. So it's important to have a translation service that can actually provide that service so that we can provide that service to our customers.
To get an interpreter on the phone can take anywhere from a couple of seconds to minutes. But the director says if a caller can at least tell dispatch their location, it helps.
It's often pretty easy to determine whether this is a fire or medical or police call, even if we're not speaking the same language. But having the address, at least we can send something to you.